So now there's worries coming up in me about my last rant saying, you know, about white liberals are the most racist group, worries about triggering these people, and I did send that video to someone who is liberal-minded like me, and he said you have to put this out, you have to let people hear this, and the point is, if you don't see hate in you or whatever in you, you're never going to be able to become the person that you think you already are, that your ego lets you believe that you're this perfect, loving person, and all your hatred, it doesn't call it hatred, it calls it right. It's righteous. So when I was talking to someone in my family who they don't know what I do, and I said, you guys don't know what I do. And one of the questions was, so do you love racists and bigots? And I said, yes. I don't love the behavior of it, but I do love the people. And I heard the person that they're married to go, oh. Okay, so these are liberal-minded relatives of mine who I adore. And the one in the background that was like, angry with me for loving racists and bigots, not loving the behavior. I don't spend time with those kinds of people. I don't, back up their points of view at all. And I don't, but I still love the person. And the reason is because, a hate log on a hate fire doesn't make love. So, I totally understand that when people are trying to fight against something, so what we resist persists. And the person in the background who was like, said, everyone is racist. So there's some narrative going around. So wherever they get their news, wherever they get their, it's like programming, wherever they're getting their programming from. And some of you are getting your programming from me. And that's a big responsibility, so I take it very seriously. That's why the programming is, I bless all, I forgive all, I respect the free will choices of all, and I love all. This removes drama from my life, lets me vibrate higher. My higher vibration serves all. So it's a perfect system because as I raise my own vibration, I serve all. That's the whole thing here. That's what I'm doing here. Changing the world without protesting. I do understand that this relative that thinks everyone is racist, to have that story in your head, everyone is racist, and stories like that is very toxic. And it's fine if people want to hold those stories and allow those stories in their head. I bless it. I forgive it. I respect the free will choice of that. And I love the person anyway. I don't personally understand why you would want a story like that in your head, creating your reality, that there's racism everywhere and everyone's a racist. I don't personally understand it. I can look at it and try to figure it out and say, okay, they think that they're going to fix it by focusing on it. Okay, so creating the story, whatever the story is, whatever story you're allowing to take up space in your mind and keep replaying and replaying and replaying, your ego is going to validate it through giving you only information that backs up the story that you already believe. Because that's how the ego is designed. The ego is designed to keep you in the small box that it created with different ego defenses. Okay, so the ego is keeping you safe, sane, and secure by reinforcing what you already think. This is why people are comfortable in echo chambers. This is why it's so easy to divide large groups of people and then make them fight each other, because both sides have facts And I mean, completely honestly, 100% honestly, from where I sit, no one that I've listened to people from all different sides. No one is 100% wrong, ever, never. And it seems to me like a religion or any kind of a belief system only needs to be about 40% true for a group of people to believe in it. So whatever religion it is, or anti-religion, you know, whether it's atheism or any kind of religion, or atheism, or politics, or it only has to be about 40% true for a chunk of people to buy in and create an echo chamber and to feel good. Everybody in here is great, so we're right, and whoever's not in this room is against us and they're wrong. I mean, this is just how the ego works. It's very, very simple. And the reason that it's so simple and easy to make people fight and divide people is because people are loving. This sounds wrong. People are loving. They're afraid to hurt other people. They're afraid to be wrong. They're afraid not to be loved. They're afraid not to be liked. And all humans just really want to be loved, to love and be loved, and accepted. And it's because of this need for humans to love and be loved that they're really easy to manipulate against themselves and their own highest best, and against other people and the highest best of all. It's very simple. And you know, my ego wants to be sorry to be the one to tell you this, but my soul's like, just say. And so it's only through weeding our own gardens that we can create the world that we want. And it's easy to say, I'm not racist, but they are. And I know that my relative, when they were trying to say everyone is racist, they were trying to say, they were trying to create a pathway for me to see that they're racist, I'm racist, everybody. We all have this, there's a tinge of racism in everyone. Okay, so racism is the hot button of the century here. So, but creating that story creates more of what they think they're fighting by doing what they're doing to do it. And so the point in my last rant video was, Ramble, if you're beating the drum of racism and if you're talking about it, you're creating it, you're creating it, you're creating it. And, you know, Morgan Freeman a long time ago in a interview with someone from 60 Minutes, they said, well, how do we stop racism? He goes, you stop talking about it. So there, okay, so there's a person that I met at a party one time. Very, 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 you know, the narrative that was created, if you're a Democrat or a liberal, you're good. And so if you're the opposite, you're bad. So if you're a Republican or a conservative, you're bad. And so if, and they think that's a fact. So if it were true that it's a fact that to be a good person, you have to be a Democrat, then of course, if that story is truth, if that opinion is a fact in your mind, only good people are Democrats, or Democrats are all good people. So that means who wouldn't want to be a Democrat? Well, all the bad people, all the racists. So this is why, and I respect it. I totally understand why. I didn't understand. I had to look into it when I was hearing all these black people, all these black empowered people say white liberals are the most racist group. At first, that didn't make any sense to me, and then I started looking into that, and I understand it. It's like they're trying to be good people. They're trying to virtue signal and show that they're good people. So I was sitting next to someone at a dinner party one time, and you know, I have a lot of gay people in my family, and this person doesn't really know me, but they're like, oh, we love gay people. I said, what? You know, oh yes, my kids and I, we love gay people. And I was like, all of them? You know, so they are not understanding that. I don't know how they don't see it, but they are clumping people together. Clumps of gay people, clumps of black people, clumps. And then they're choosing to love the victimized groups. So there's like a hierarchy. So we live in victim culture right now. That's fine. This is exactly where we need to be right now in our collective evolution. If we can just get comfortable with we are where we are, and we watch what happens. Okay, so for the higher vibrational people, the people at the higher vibrations of peace, love, whatever, they can see, yes, they can see the different colored meat suits, and they can see, the genitalia, or the people in the trans community, LGBTQ, whatever. But all the people are just people. So the different meat suits and the different variations of the expression of the same universal divine energy is just what makes the soul party so interesting. So the soul party I talk about is the higher vibrational people all having individual freedom to express themselves however their higher self, their soul, is choosing to do it. So whatever meat suit, whatever orientation, political, sexual, whatever, except for pedosexuals. Like the pedo stuff is getting uncovered, thank God, and rings are getting broken up, and the behavior is getting exposed because there's so many people raising their vibration in so many different ways. So there's a lot of different elevators happening to bring people's vibration up. But aside from the pedosexuals, all the trans people and all that, and so I have someone in my family I've multiple people, but one person that's gay in my family was attacked and put into a coma in 2000, in the year 1999, so December 31st, 1999, in a coma. That person happened to be gay, but the attack was just for money. And I had people from, it was only LGB, I think at the time, LGB community, calling me to try and get me to spin this as an attack. And if this person was with someone of the same sex, like making out, and this thing happened, then I absolutely would have reported it that way. But it wasn't. They were by themselves, walking with a hat on, and it was an assault. It was a basic assault, and they wanted me. I was getting a lot of pressure to try and call this an attack on a gay person, and it just wasn't true. What had happened wasn't true. And I said, I don't want to spin it as something that it isn't. And they couldn't understand, and they were like, we need this. And I said, I understand, because I did understand from their heart, they want to show the violence against gay people. If this was, 19 years ago. So, well, almost 20 years ago now. Oh my God. So they wanted it. They wanted the number in their figure. And I said, it's not right to do that, because for a lot of reasons, but one reason is, besides it being a lie, some people will disregard what happened to this person in my family because they're not gay, so it won't happen to them, when it would have happened to anyone who was there by themselves at that time. They were gonna get mugged, attacked, and anyway. So I do understand that people are, their emotions are on hairline triggers right now. I totally understand it. And I was pandering to those people for a very long time. And I was afraid to lose these kinds of people in my groups. I was afraid to lose them. And in my fear of losing them, I have not been anywhere near as powerful as I actually am. And I'm realizing now that, as my friend said, you know, something I did, and she said, look at you, you're changing the world without protesting. And that is what I'm working on. That is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to change the world without protesting by teaching people that your vibration, by making your highest vibration your most intense priority, and raising your vibration is going to serve all others. By trying to change the world without protesting, I've been very careful in everything that I say and do so that I don't trigger people and lose people. But I'm keeping my power down by doing that. And if people truly understood that I really do bless all, I really do forgive all, I respect the free will choices of all, and I love all. When I say white liberals are the most racist group, I'm not saying it in the same way that someone who identified as conservatives or Republicans would be saying it. I'm not saying it the same way that someone in opposition to white liberals is trying to say it, okay? I'm saying it in a way that's like the black Trump supporters or black conservatives or black empowered people who want to wear MAGA hats and not be screamed at and attacked for it are telling us this. Let's bring this information out. Let's share what those people, what their experience is, where they're touching the elephant. It's not to hurt white liberals. It's to let them have the opportunity to face an uncomfortable thing that, you know, you realize you're seen as, you know, you're seen as the most racist group because, you know, the people that say voter ID laws are prejudice. It's like, how many black people do you think don't have driver's licenses? Why wouldn't they? You know, and to actually say like diversity is our strength, a lot of people who are saying diversity is our strength are focusing on skin color, and that's in the definition of racism. You know, so you know, George Carlin would say, happened to be black, someone who happened to be black, you know, and he made fun of it so long ago. And the point was like, people are people. It doesn't matter the skin color, the gender, the sexual orientation, except for pedophiles, you know, pedophiles, the whole pedo thing, because it is a thing. You may not want to believe it, but there are people saying, who says sex with babies isn't good for them, you know. And the ring that just got broken up, there's like the children were like as young as 3 months old, and you know, there's some stuff on the dark web that, you know, and to me it's like, you know, you can rent a baby for $300 an hour. Like this is what's really happening. And so when I watch people fight about, you know, basic politics, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous to me. But I still love all the people that are fighting, and I do listen to them and why they're fighting. I get an idea of their perspective, so I understand. But it's when you start to see the depravity that's like underground or like being hidden, you start to really look at the people who are fighting about politics on the surface and say, hey, you know, that's really kind of a hangnail to me. Because the world has much bigger problems. And so I think I'm growing out of that judgment that I used to have. And so I started Renegade Yogi to help people bless, forgive, respect, free will choice, and love all, right? Raise their vibration, become the light in the world, and the light is going to expose all the darkness. That's all I'm doing. That's really all I'm doing. I'm working at changing the world without protesting, because it takes energy and time and resources to protest. Whether you have to take time off work, you have to drive a car to New York City, or, you know, make signs, whatever. It takes energy to create the circumstances for protest. And there are people taking the same amount of energy and resources, whether it's time, money, you know, just you sitting and thinking, sitting in meditation is resources, because you're using time And, you know, you get the idea. So, you know, the people who made the metal straws, I use this as an example. So plastic straws, this many times, you know, pollute the ocean, can go around the earth this many times. Okay, so we have that information. So I found out about that. I stopped using straws, but someone else said, I want to change the world without protesting. Okay. People want straws. How can I change the world without protesting? How can I give people an easy way to use straws? I can make a metal straw with a cute little bag. How can I make it so that people want it? So they used their time and energy, and they used resources to create a company, make a company that makes metal straws. And the 4 ocean bracelets people, they didn't like the plastic in the ocean, but instead of just using the time to protest, okay, they changed the world without protesting by creating a company for ocean, and they make these bracelets. And I think they're like $19.99 or like $20, which is it's at a price point where it's a nice gift, but it's not so much that someone couldn't just say, oh, okay, I don't want someone to give this away. So like re-gifting. But anyway, the point is, you have only so much time and resources in this meat suit on this planet, okay? And your soul decided to come here now, be in the world with me at this time. And if I'm pointing out your behavior, it's meant to serve, okay? And if it triggers you, I have to be okay with that. I have to allow you to be triggered. I have to allow you to be in pain because of something that I'm saying, and hold my ground, because I do believe that in the next 7 years, there's going to be a lot of information that comes to light, because there's so many people focusing on freedom, and that's going to raise your vibration. Because enlightenment, 1,000 level vibration enlightenment, is really another word for freedom. Okay, so if I'm not in lockstep mentally with someone on Twitter, they'll accuse me of being on the other side. That's fine. It is fine, because the reason they're doing that is because they're not thinking freely. They're in one side or the other side. And so if I'm not parroting the same narrative that they are, they think, hi, Max, they think I'm on the other side. And so then they need to be, so they're in opposition. So they're in opposition to someone, and since I'm not on their side as they see it, even though I am, I'm on their highest self side. Hi. They see me on the other side. But that's not a personal attack on me. I can't take it personally. That is just... Moxie out. Grady? Can you call Mox? So I can't take it I could take it personally, but that's just going to lower my vibration. So...
Where is she?
She's right here.
Aww, give a new one.
Oh, my guy's here. All right, so I love you all, whether you're racists or bigots or not. And I love you no matter what sides of any spectrum that you're on. I really do. I do love you. I really do. So remember me, loving, blessing, forgiving, respecting your free will choice, and loving you. Ramble number 2, down. Love you.